With that, I'd like to introduce Sharice Kupador, who is the school leader at Crescent. Crescent has righted itself and is very successful now, and it is a reward school. So, Sharice.
Good evening. I certainly want to thank Dr. Shannon and everyone who had a hand in making our school a success. It's a true story. No one would have believed what happened to our school, but I know that what happened, something good came out of it because it changed the way the management companies interface with the schools, the boards, and the authorizers. And there were some days when I didn't think we were going to make it. I know Dr. Shannon said he started smoking cigars. I had a double lumpectomy. It was stressful. I kid you not. If you ever get a chance to come by Crescent, come by and see it because it is a true story. Because I believe that no one would ever believe that such a horrible thing could happen, and it really was the result of greed. There's no other way to say it but greed. The title of the story that I wrote is called Big Trouble in Little Village, the Village of Crescent Academy, a true tale. And there's a fairy wand here. And is Marie Holm, is she here?
Here she is.
We're going to have her come up a little bit later. I will introduce the characters, but it was a very sad situation that happened. And so I didn't ever want to forget it, and I felt like if ever someday I should move on, that I would leave something behind to tell about how we got to this point where we are today. Once upon a time, there was a school located in Southfield, Michigan, named Crescent Academy. The students and staff were happy in the kingdom of Southfield. The staff worked hard each and every day to make sure that the students were making academic improvements. Students were learning, and the staff thought that life was good. One day, unbeknownst to the principal, she was summoned to come to a board meeting for Crescent Academy, far, far away from the school's normal location. The principal thought that this was strange, but galloped along on her black horse to this secret location. When she arrived at this location, she found that there were no familiar faces. Those who had once served on the board had been banished from the board because they had been very, very naughty and did not seek approval from the kingdom of Bay Mills on any business matters. Lord Pat Shannon, who was the king's most trusted lord, was charged with the task of handpicking a board that he knew would be courageous and would comply with the kingdom of Bay Mills' every wish. The principal sat in the board meeting, listening to the newly appointed board members talk about their backgrounds as each took turns formally introducing themselves to the other board members. As the meeting moved along, the principal came up on the agenda and gave her board report as she normally did at each and every board meeting. While there was discussion of why the original board members were banished, the principal still really did not realize the seriousness of this matter, nor did she realize the role the wicked management company had played in the business office affairs of the school. The principal returned to her building in the kingdom of Southfield the next day to find she was all alone with no support or guidance from anyone. She was like a captain on a ship sailing all alone on the open sea. As she looked around, she saw no dry land, nor was there any sunlight to guide her way. All she saw was doom and gloom. At that immediate moment, her fairy godmother, who was from the kingdom of QPR, appeared and said, "My child, all you really need to do is already within you." The principal began to look around at the school and all that needed to be done to get the school ready for her students and staff in the fall. So with this in mind, she began to put a plan in place as she was determined to have everything ready for the staff and students when they returned to school in September. The principal went to pull the curriculum, and to her surprise, she found that there was no curriculum other than an outline of what should be taught. She looked at the textbooks and found that they were all outdated and needed to be tossed. To make things worse, not only was there no curriculum, coupled with having outdated books, The parents of the school became fearful and lost faith in the school because a headless horseman sent news to all the parents in the village, telling them about all of the deception that had gone on with the board and the board's wicked management company. This scared the parents, and they went running into other villages outside of the kingdom to seek out a school for their children. This made the principal very sad, but the principal was determined to win back the confidence of the parents. She knew that one day the school would regain its reputation. One day the principal asked the board president to go with her to another kingdom to look at a research-based curriculum for the school. To their surprise, they fell in love with the curriculum and brought it back to the board for their blessing. Once the principal got the board's blessing, the board sent it on to the kingdom of Bay Mills, where they did not want to anger the kingdom of Bay Mills. The kingdom of Bay Mills knew that they needed to have a management company that could take on the responsibility of managing the school's business and financial affairs. So with this in mind, the kingdom of Bay Mills had their most trusted board, Pat Shannon, sent a message out to all the management companies in the land, except to the wicked management company, whom they had banished early on, that there would be a special board meeting whereby management companies could put on a short presentation to discuss their management skills and the services that they could provide the school. Several management companies from near and far, professing to work miracles in helping the school, Crescent Academy, get back on their feet, showed up. During this special board meeting, the wicked owner of the management company showed up with all of his soldiers and legal representation. To his surprise, the board of Crescent Academy had its legal counsel present. The legal counsel for Crescent Academy was known through many kingdoms for being a fearless warrior. When he saw the king of the wicked management company, this angered the board's legal counsel very much. Lord Landon took what should have been a typical board meeting and turned it into a courtroom, whereby holding an unofficial hearing, thus causing this particular board meeting to go down in the kingdom of history as one of the most theoretical, incriminating board meetings. Every board meeting thereafter was eventful, to say the least, and brought more and more bad news to the kingdom for the school. The principal continued her quest to restore the integrity of the school's academic program and the confidence of the parents, so she tossed out all of the textbooks that were at least 5 years old and began to research and secure the best textbooks in the land for her students. A new management company was appointed, and they worked side by side with the principal to improve the academic program. The new management company offered their expertise and help at every turn. Because the principal wanted the staff and students to be successful in their quest for academic improvement, the principal listened to the new management company and their suggestions, and she acted on all of the suggestions, for their suggestions were always grounded in research, and this made the principal very happy. One day, a messenger from the kingdom of Bay Mills came at the request of the king's most trusted lord, Pat Shannon, to the board meeting to officially serve the board with a two-part notice. The messenger said the purchase of the building had to be undone, and the charter was also being rescinded. If the board is not undone, if the deal is not undone, Lord Pat Shannon will huff and puff and blow this school down. This scared the board and the principal, and they began to shake in their shoes in dismay. The board's legal counsel, Lord Landau, said, "Have no fear, I will get the job done." School started as planned in September, but the enrollment was not good, for all of the parents had gone to other schools outside of the village. The principal was still optimistic, for she knew that someday she would be the Pied Piper, and all of the students would come dancing back into the school village. The doom and gloom went on for what seemed like months. The doom and gloom also took a financial toll on the school, with all of the legal fees that were adding up on a daily basis. One day, the principal and the staff came to the school and turned on the computers to find that the computers were all black. All of the principal and her staff's important documents had been stripped from the computer overnight. The principal began to cry when she found out that all of the school's vital count day information was gone as well. Not only was the entire school's database gone, but the phones were dead as well. All communication had been cut off. The wicked management company that had once been banished by the Kingdom of Bay Mills decided to hold all of the school's important documents and data for ransom. The wicked management company said, "We'll never give you the school data back, for it is ours, and you will have to pay. It is our property." This really angered the Kingdom of Bay Mills. The Kingdom of Bay Mills once again requested that their most trusted lord, Pat Shannon, go to the highest kingdom to get this matter straightened out. The hourglass was rapidly filling as it was a race to get the school's database returned to them before counting. Because Bay Mills' most trusted lord was given favor with the highest kingdom, the school got the necessary information needed for counting. The school had escaped yet another bad storm. One day, the king of the new management company came to see the principal. She knew that his visit had to be bad news, as she only saw the new king of the management company when he came bearing bad news. The new king of the management company met with the principal and said, "There's not enough money to keep all of the existing staff. If all of the staff stays, I will have to huff and puff and blow this school down." She gathered her closest confidants and began to brainstorm a plan. The plan that the team came up with would require everyone's salary, including the principal, to be reduced by 5% and take away the 401k for everyone. This was not going to be an easy task for the principal to deliver to her staff, for the principal vowed to keep everything as normal as possible, for she wanted the teachers to keep their focus on the students. The staff did not know what was going on, and the principal planned to keep it that way for as long as she could. The principal was careful to shield the staff, students, and parents from what was happening in the Kingdom of Southfield, for everyone appeared to be wonderful on the surface, but beneath the surface, there were many storms going on. The principal shared his plan with the new king of the management company, and he felt that it was a good plan and agreed to present at the staff meeting to support this plan. Not only did he support this plan, but he promised her and the staff that they would get their 5% salary returned to them someday when the school was financially stable again. The staff was so overjoyed and thankful that they decided to send the nice new management company a thank you card for cutting their salary by 5% and taking away their 401k. As time went on, things were very shady and scary for the school. The dark cloud stayed over the school. The principal began to doubt whether or not the sun would ever shine again in the kingdom. At the February board meeting, Lord Landale brought bad news, as he often did each month. The principal was especially fed up with the doom and gloom brought each month to the board. Lord Landale reported that things did not look good with the unwinding of the bond deal. The principal could not take it anymore, and in an emotional panic, the principal grabbed all the keys to the school and handed them to Lord Landale and said, "If you must close the school, do it now and spare me the continued pain of listening to your report each month, as it is obvious that the plan is to close the school." Lord Landau quickly changed his tone and attempted to shine a little light on the possibility of getting through the unwinding of the bond deal. After that meeting, all the rest of the meeting seemed to get better as the unwinding of the purchase of the building became more and more of a reality. The new management company and their team, along with Lord Landale, continued to work very hard to help unwind the bond deal on behalf of the school. Over the next couple of months, a great deal of support continued to come from the new management company, and a wonderful partnership was formed with the principal and the new management company. The principal began to see a little light at the end of the tunnel, and dry land seemed to be in the far distance and future of the school's kingdom. One day, when the principal was not thinking about the cares and worries of the school, she got an email from Lord Landale communicating that the deal unwinding the bond was complete. While Lord Landale knew that the legal woes of the school were far from finished, he knew that he had completed the initial request assigned to him by the king's most trusted lord, Pat Shannon. As the months continued, the principal got another email from Lord Landau letting her know that the other legal suits were being dropped. This made the principal very happy, and she was overjoyed that the school would be able to move forward. While the next year came around, the principal, with the help of the new management company, sought out on a quest as the Pied Piper in the village. All the students danced right back into the school once again, as the principal knew that they would someday. There were so many students coming from other villages in the kingdom that she could hardly keep up with the enrollment. Because the students kept coming and coming, the management company was able to restore the 5% that was once taken away and restore the 401k that had once been taken away. At last, the principal could see dry land, and there were lots of light at the end of the tunnel. The school continued to improve academically, and the principal, staff, and children, and the new management company lived happily ever after, preparing students for the future. The end. I would just like to highlight the principal. That was me. Fairy godmother, Marie Holm, if she'll come up. Kingdom of Bay Mills, our Board of Regents. Lord Shannon is Dr. Shannon. Board President, Mark Lyle. Lord Landau was the board attorney. King of the new management company, Chuck Stockwell, if he would stand as well. We could not, Maria Dawkins, we could not have gotten through that difficult time. I'm pleased to let you know that this summer we enrolled 1,020 kids. So we went from a school that used to be 200 that went down to just about 125 students. Things were pretty bad. We didn't really see a way out, but it was important to stay focused. We are a data-driven instructional program, and you notice I have on a lab coat. That's because we look at the data. The data tells us a story every single day. In the beginning of the year, September, we spent a lot of time assessing. It's kind of like going to the doctor, getting a physical. You know, the doctor will say, you know, I'm going to do some blood work. You know, he looks at his file. And he says, well, your blood's good, but your urine, I'm not so sure. Why don't we get a CAT scan? And he says, come back and see me in 2 weeks, and I'll put together a script for what ails you. Well, when we do our assessment and testing, that's part of the prescription that we write for kids. We say, well, you need maybe a double dose of reading, maybe 3 times a day math, a little bit of multiplication, therapy, writing at night, and in school during the day in the morning. You're due now. So we give kids a script, and over a period of time, you know, when the doctor prescribes medication to you, you get better, and you get better and better. Sometimes you regress, sometimes they have to change the script. And it's nothing different than in a school. You look at your resources. Everything we go to do is research-based. We're constantly teaching and assessing. You know, you have your formative assessments. And we just finished up, or started today, our summative assessment for the last 10 weeks so that we know where our children are. And then we'll go back and we'll do another physical in the spring to see if there's been any kind of improvement. What scripts do we need to have you take over the summer? Maybe a little bit of summer school, maybe a little bit of meat camp. How about we get you started with jumping to kindergarten? Maybe you need to be in that pre-developmental kindergarten because we don't quite think you're ready yet for kindergarten. So there are all types of resources that we use at school, coupled with our extended resources that support our kids every day, such as breakfast program, lunch program, homework help, Saturdays. So we don't do anything on Sundays. We kind of let the kids go and repent for their sins so they don't act like the devil on Monday. But they're with us all the time. We have an extended school year, a longer day, more time on task, really to close up those gaps. Is it easy? No. Does it take dedication? Yes. You've got to keep working at it. We do PLC meetings. Teacher receive time to come together to diagnose what the problems are, to look at writing samples, to look at math samples. We do half days so that we give teachers time to really improve on their instructional delivery. And then to look at the Common Cores. Our math, as far as I'm concerned, and based on our data, is kind of flatline. And I need a heartbeat. So we've looked at a different type of math program, Go Math, this year. We've always used Hardcore Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston, but that Go Ham, because it's strategic. It's got the Common Cores embedded, so we're not missing the beat. So at the end of the year, we can see the gains. And really, that's what Crescent is about. You got to be data-driven. There has to be a commitment. You got to open the doors on Saturday, and you got to leave them open over the summer, so that kids don't have the long gaps. You're shaking your head in the back, so you know where we've been and how we got to this point today. Being a reward school, it took a lot of effort. But we love what we do, and you can do it, you can be successful. And we're the team. And I certainly, again, want to highlight Dr. Shannon, because he could have closed the school down. See, his partners didn't know what they were getting into. They know what they're into now, and it's been a great success. So thank you for listening to me and giving me the honor to tell our story. Thank you.